Alright, Xenoblade Chronicles X. So Xenoblade Chronicles 3 was just announced a few days ago properly. And we have done Xenoblade Chronicles 1, Xenoblade Chronicles Definitive Edition, and Xenoblade Chronicles 2 along with the DLC for Xenoblade Chronicles 2 being Torna and the epilogue story that was introduced by Xenoblade Chronicles 1's Definitive Edition. We've done all the Xenoblades on this channel except for Xenoblade Chronicles X, which isn't completely true when I say that. Technically speaking, I started a Xenoblade Chronicles X playthrough way back in the day of my very, very early content creation endeavors. Like, back when I was a brand new content creator was the thing. That was like the second or third big playthrough I ever started on this channel. Like, the first big playthrough I think was Kirby Star Allies, and then sometime shortly after that was Xenoblade Chronicles X. But I never completed the playthrough, and the quality of my streams back then was like really, really bad. So there was a time back when that I deleted them from the channel, so you can't find them on YouTube right now. They still exist on my computer. I'll upload them at the end of this series as like bonus episodes. But some might be asking, why don't I just like pick up right where I left off from like the unfinished playthrough from 2018? Well, one, my quality freaking sucked back then. The stream was a very, very different place back in 2018, and the quality was kind of awful. And two, I think it is in this drawer. What happened to my save data is it's on this freaking USB right here. There was a time that I took it out of my Wii U, and like the little bit that actually holds the, chip in the case, it broke off and got stuck in my Wii U, and I just have the chip part. So I have a save file for Xenoblade Chronicles X on this like busted USB that I don't know if it's even repairable. I'm just starting it from the beginning. We're just starting a new playthrough here because I think the playthrough from 2018 is literally unsalvageable. I think, both in terms of quality and the fact that my save data is on there. So, I don't, I can't really do much with that. Another heads up with this series before we get things properly underway is back when we did the playthrough in 2018, or attempted the unfinished playthrough in 2018, I did it on my actual Wii U. I did it with my actual copy of Xenoblade Chronicles X that I have here and such. But this time we're doing it on PC. This is on my computer right now. This is on emulator. And we're doing this for a few reasons. One, so the graphics can freaking be better so that we can play it in 60 FPS instead of 30 FPS like would happen natively on the Wii U. And, but the biggest reason why I'm emulating this is because the gamepad screen is really important in this game, quite frankly. Like I mentioned very briefly in my Pokemon Brilliant Diamond Shine Pearl video essay talking about like, something similar to the statue system in the Grand Underground. There was the data probe system that it sort of reminded me of in Xenoblade Chronicles X, where you like, put your data probes down on the gamepad screen. I can't show the gamepad screen on my actual Wii U. Like, unless what am I gonna do? Freaking turn on my other camera and point it at the gamepad screen? I could, but it'd be freaking ugly as heck. And I don't want to do that. So we're doing it on my PC. So if I hold the spacebar, you can see the gamepad screen. So that makes it simple there. I did try experimenting with like a separate gamepad view for a while, but it caused like weird lag and weird issues. So we're just gonna be playing this in a way where if I hold the spacebar, there's the gamepad screen. So if we need to organize any data probes, we can do that with you being able to see it instead of me holding my freaking gamepad and like holding it up to the camera and stuff like that. So that's why we're playing this on PC. There's several reasons, and this seemed like a better thing to be playing on PC. When I do upload the, I believe it's 7 parts that were made. There were 7 streams, 7 parts from back in the day. When we're done with this series and I upload the old stuff as bonus episodes, you'll be able to see what it looked like on Wii U as a comparison to what we'd be seeing here, and it should just look better here in most ways anyway. Some cutscenes might act a little bit wonky, like one of the opening cutscenes has a lot of fog for some reason, which we'll see here shortly. But yeah, there's that. Hopefully this works out just fine. I have done like a decent bit of testing off camera, but it should work out fine and should be pretty okay. Okay, let me catch up on the chat that I missed here real quick. Hello, Streaker Sprace, Mortis, Enzos, and Guzma. Hope you all are doing well today. Yeah, we're hopping into Xenoblade Chronicles X here, as it's the only Xenoblade game that we haven't yet covered on the channel in preparation for Xenoblade Chronicles 3 here. Now, this game's story probably doesn't have like a connection to the other Xenoblade games, so it might not be super important to do this before Xenoblade Chronicles 3. Because this game, like Xenoblade 1 and 2 are 100% canonically connected. And same with Xenoblade Chronicles 3, as you can already tell from the trailers for anybody that's played 1 and 2. This game, however, is not canonically connected to the other games yet. Like, it's not canon, but there's some things in the story that implies that it might be connected to the other games. So it is always possible that some future Xenoblade games, like Xenoblade Chronicles 3, for example, might finally tie in Xenoblade Chronicles X. Maybe? Who knows? So this game might be important for the overall Xenoblade story, or it might not be. It might not be. But even if it isn't, it'll still showcase like the last style of gameplay that the series tried out. Well, for the Xenoblade games, there's always Xenosaga and Xenogears, which I've never played before, which I'll do it one day. One day I'll do it. So yeah, that's the state of Xenoblade Chronicles X. Maybe, if we're lucky, it'll be tied into Xenoblade Chronicles 3 in some way, or, you know, that game will, like, explain some things with this. But most likely it won't, so don't get your hopes up, I guess. But just in case it does, we're doing, we're doing that. But yeah, anyway, yeah. Catching up on some stuff that I missed there, and welcome back once again, Context Code. Haven't played X yet. It's a fun game. In my opinion, this game's story isn't exactly the best. Its music is very different than the other Xenoblade games, but still really good. But the gameplay, oh my goodness, this is like one of the few games that had an open world that just like would pull me in back in the day, back when I played this, when it came out in 2015. Like, I just always wanted to explore this world. There have only been a few games that have done that. I think the only other big two are Assassin's Creed Black Flag and Breath of the Wild are the only two other big games that have like really pulled me into its world and made me you know, really want to explore. So I have a save file I can continue from. That was like my testing kind of stuff. But we're gonna be starting a new game here and whatnot. Yeah, they're if you do look into theories for how X could be connected, it's gonna spoil the other Xenoblade games. And where a lot of the evidence comes from for how Xenoblade Chronicles X could be connected is actually taken from Xenosaga and Xenogears, I believe. Because Xenosaga and Xenogears have like a very similar story in like the backstory and lore to Xenoblade Chronicles 1 and 2. Like, it's not 100% canonically like connected, like, oh, it's the same backstory, it's the same origins, like there's different characters, different names, yada yada, but it still follows the same general premise, essentially. And there are some interesting things that happen in the story of this game that are connected to events of Xenosaga and Xenogears that are also, you know, those games are connected to the story of Xenoblade 1 and 2. So there's some very interesting connections. We'll see if it all gets tied together at some point. We shall see. Maybe we'll find out later this year with Xenoblade Chronicles 3. It'll be interesting to, it'll be interesting to see. But yeah, also, that was one of the things that we were discussing in the, is there supposed to be any audio? Do you not hear anything, Kuzma? I was just about to say in response to your passage there, that was actually what we talked about in the podcast discussion and analysis of the Xenoblade 3 trailer, which we did recently with the Nintendo Direct and whatnot. Yeah, it's definitely the weakest story. There's no doubt about that. And, like, I'm not going to spoil what the story is, but I will say that it's kind of a cliffhanger that's been unresolved for the past, it's 2022 now, so 7 years, because this released in 2015. So, you know, people who played Xenoblade Chronicles X have kind of been wanting a resolution to this for a long time. Maybe we'll get it with Xenoblade 3 that, like, ties it in some way, but we'll certainly see what happens. The focus of this game was not on the story. Like, Xenoblade Chronicles 1 and 2 are very, very focused on story, and I imagine 3 will be as well. But Xenoblade Chronicles X is kind of like, the story's like a side feature. Here's this massive open world to explore. Probably one of the most massive worlds the Wii U ever saw. Like, this game freaking pushed the Wii U to its absolute limits. The fact that Monolith was able to figure out getting this game working on the Wii U is freaking incredible. I have such respect for Monolith, quite frankly. Yeah, let's go ahead and select new game here, is what we'll do. Does it go? No, it doesn't go straight into cutscene yet. It's really weird. Like, I remember this confused me the first time I booted up. It was like, why is it showing me this here? You can, like, adjust the brightness a little bit before the thing will pop. You just have to press, like, B a couple times and then it exits the settings. While playing online, your in-game profile will be shared with other Xenoblade Chronicles X players. Oh yeah, one more reason why I wanted to play this on PC, is with, like, minor mods, one of which I'm using right now. For whatever reason, this game, which had its online features, whenever you're not playing online, it would always show a little marker that says offline in the top left corner of the screen at all times whenever you're not playing, whenever you're not connected to the network to be playing online. Even during cutscenes, there's always online, or offline, sorry, right in that top left corner, and it was so annoying. Playing this on PC allows me to use minor mods, like one that turns off the offline tag so we don't have to see that at all times. So that's another reason why we're doing this on PC rather than Wii U. Existing save data, including achievement. Yeah, that was just my freaking test save file. This game does have a very intriguing intro with, you know, how empty it feels at first.
July 2054 AD. The Earth was caught in a great battle between unknown alien forces. Their weapons were terrifying and powerful beyond human reckoning. Our planet was overwhelmed, its surface reduced to ash and rubble in the blink of an eye. The Coalition government knew the war was coming. In response, they prepared the Earth-Life Colonization Project.
Anybody see my mouse cursor for a hot second there? I wasn't sure if it would show up.
All across the planet, from every major city on Earth. Bravely, we leapt from our cradle, our home for the last 4.5 billion years. But most of the arcs never even made it out of the atmosphere. Only a small handful managed to escape. Among them was our ship, the White Whale. After leaving Earth behind, we spent 2 years wandering in space, searching. We thought of ourselves as the lucky ones, the pioneers who would settle a new world. But our past caught up with us, literally. The alien blitz was unrelenting. If not for the efforts of a lone hero, we would never have survived. Our ship took heavy damage. We lost control. With our flight systems down, the White Whale was pulled into the gravitational field of a nearby planet, its hull shattering and breaking to pieces as we plummeted toward the surface. Since then, 2 months have passed.
Well, here we are. So that was the intro to the game. This game, unlike the other Xenoblade games, has a custom character creator, and you make your own character as the avatar. It's the only Xenoblade game where you have like your own character as the as the avatar. So yeah, the story of this game was like there was an alien battle going on over Earth. The humans knew this was coming, so they tried to like shove off of Earth with like a whole bunch of different ships, and a few of them escaped. Maybe there's some other ones out there, who knows, but you're the only one that like for sure escaped, and you had to crash land on another planet after one of the alien forces like came after you again. So yeah, I'd very much love to have this game on the Switch, and I think the director of Monolith Soft has been asked if he's thought about bringing Xenoblade X to the Switch before. His answer was like, yeah, I've thought about it, and the question then was like, what stopped you? And he's like, money. That's there's that, because it can be expensive to do that kind of thing. But yeah, this is a very massive game, and it'd be really cool to have this on the Switch if that ever happened. Who knows? But yeah, so the plot of this game is literally trying to make do and survive on an alien world. I've thought about it, which one we were gonna do. I think that I might go with like male for this one, because we usually do like a mix on this channel. Whenever there's like the option between a male and female character to do on this channel when it comes to character creation stuff, we usually go like pretty close to 50-50. Like a lot of playthroughs who play as the male character, a lot of playthroughs who play as the female character. I was thinking about going as the male character for this one, but interestingly enough, with this game, I don't know at what point it is, but there is one side quest like much later in the game that actually lets you change your character however you want, like whenever you want, essentially. So what you lock in here isn't actually what you're locked in with for life. So it can literally be like our Dark Souls 2 playthrough, where we do like a little bit of one and then later on we can switch to the other. That's technically a thing that's possible. The only thing that you can't change that's locked in 100% is the name that you give yourself is stuck. You don't like the look of her, Guzma? What you mean? Right after you were daring me to play as the female character there. Also, you can change the freaking background, just in case you want to see like a different backdrop while you're customizing your character and such. So we can try out playing as her like down the line whenever we do whatever side quest that is, because that is an option. But I think for the most part we might go as the male character for this. That is so dark back there. Change it to something bright. There we go. Now I can see a little bit better. I need to remember how to use the freaking custom character creator thingamabob in this game, and the come on, there's gotta be like long hair. There's gotta be like something for me. I think that was the hair that I went with back in 2018, which I think is the longest hair option for the guy. I've talked before about how you know, I really wish that there was like better longer hair options for the these are base faces. This isn't the hair is the thing. If you want to like start with a so I can that's based off like the face there. Okay. I mean, hold on. No. Well, yeah, sure, return to base selection. I guess if any of the I'm just now noticing it's changing the faces. I think that we'll probably just go with like the default here. Face looks jarring. I think I can show like what the different options here look like. Dunban, it probably is based off of a Dunban there. Is what it probably is. So this was the game that came out after Xenoblade Chronicles 1. Xenoblade Chronicles 1 came out on the Wii, then this game came out on the Wii U, then Xenoblade Chronicles 2 came out on the Switch. So just in case you're curious about seeing what some of these look like and stuff, and this is what they look like. More you know. Yeah, I think we're probably just gonna start with like the default Dudo there. Yeah, it is kind of Dunban-like, isn't it? It kind of is. Yeah, so let's start with this base in that case. Size. I'm tall. Do I want to make myself as tall as can be? In real life, I'm like 6'2". I'm either 6'1" or 6'2". I'm one of the two. But like, I'm a tall boyo. Should I just go like max height? Maybe a little bit shorter. I don't know. How short can you go? You can go like that, apparently. It's the stoic and inscrutable dumb man. Here, I'll do something like that. Let's. Oh well, I didn't save it. I need to actually press A to confirm it. A little bad energy. Let's go. I'm not going with a little bad. You cannot tempt me. The freaking character creator in this game is actually pretty crazy. You can literally be like whatever color you want, essentially. Technically speaking. Basically, I mean, you can literally be a green person if you want to. I'm gonna pass on that front. Whoops, no, I need to see things here. I don't really have any freckles, I don't believe. Yeah, let's see here. You can want to have like some definite, sure, I'll go with a little bit there. I don't know what the I'm not 100% certain, Guzma, I'm sorry to say. You can do like freaking scars and stuff, but like moles, nah. I don't think so. I don't think so there. Let's see here. But yeah, that's what IGN called Dunban in their review of Definitive Edition. Oh, Duncan. I read that as Dunban because my mind autofilled that. If I properly read it as Duncan, then I would have gotten it. Freaking, yeah, IGN calling Dunban Duncan. Rain and Duncan, my two favorite Xenoblade Chronicles characters. So this was the option this is literally the longest hair option they have for the guy, which is literally nowhere near the length of my actual hair. Freaking look at this. So, you know, I do wish that, where's the right layout? There it is. I really do wish that more video games out there had like more long hair option for guys, because I swear, like, freaking half the time that I play as a female character in games where there's a custom character creator, probably more than half the time, is just because they have better hair options than I do, and ones that are closer to my actual hair that I get freaking salty about. But yeah, we'll go with that. Let's see here. Do I want the so I can have a strand there if I want. Do we want the strand there? You're not wrong. The review was super funny, is the thing. What's interesting about the hair options in this game is you can have like different roots and tips, so you can have like the hair fade into like a different color. So I've got like pretty dark brown hair. So like, I believe this is for the root. So I can go with something like this is what I can always do. Yeah, just give both of them like the same hair options. Literally just give them both the same hair customizability options and I'd be happy. You know, I'd be happy with that. I could always go with like a green or something like that if I wanted to be like the Enharmonia kind of thingamabob. But I think I'm gonna go with like a brown closer to like my actual hair. My hair's pretty dark, so I mean, probably something like that-ish. I don't know. But then the tips color. So you can have, wait, is this a... Oh, I did them both there. All right, so this is the roots color. And then you can change the tips color to something else. So you can have it kind of like fade into another color like that. So I could maybe have it like, have like a hint of green or something like that as a nod to like Enharmonia kind of stuff. How, I don't know. I could just have it like fade into a lighter brown or something like that. Reflect like the shininess of my hair and whatnot. But yeah, when FromSoft games allow all genders use all hair options, but other games don't. More games need to just have like all hair options available. Straight up. No, not quite into there. So yeah, I could always go with something kind of lightish like this. I mean, what kind of things can we have it fade into here? We can have it be like a lime green. That could be like a nice Enharmonia nod or something like that. Is what we could do. I don't know, kind of yellowish there. That's kind of interesting, isn't it? I mean, the blue looks pretty cool, though. It does look cool, let's face it. But, like... But, I mean, like, and have, like, the silvery kind of thingamabobs there. Do I want light brown, or do I want, like, greenish for, like, the Enharmonia kind of themes? It can be, like, right in the middle. But that's, like, yellowish. Something like this is probably what would look color-wise the closest to my actual hair. Maybe. So it's kind of lighter there, I guess. Sure. Well, how about that? The eyes in this game are interesting, to say the least. So this is like the most human natural looking eyes. These are like the normal Xenoblade Chronicles X eyes. I guess this is another kind of natural looking one. Yeah, the customization of this game is very interesting, to say the least. The eyes are very intriguing, the different things that you can make them. You can go like freaking reptile looking eyes. You can even do this if you really want to, but that's freaking hella ugly. So I might not do that. Wait, was one of those high NT eyes? Is that what one of them was based off of, or? But yeah, there's some interesting eye options, to say the least. What's the difference between these two? What is the difference between these two? I actually can't tell. One has a black ring around the pupil. Like these? Or, but yeah. Yeah, that, you're not wrong. That game had a very interesting direction for its customization. Huh. Imagine this game in the modern Xenoblade art style. That'd be really interesting. Like, Xenoblade Chronicles 1 kind of went with, like, you know, kind of realistic looking graphics for the Wii, like slightly cartoony, kind of realistic. Xenoblade Chronicles X went with like realistic but like anime eyes, sorta. Xenoblade Chronicles 2 was like, okay, let's go full anime, and then when they remade Xenoblade Chronicles 1, they were like, okay, yeah, let's go full anime, and it did look way better than the original Xenoblade Chronicles. So I mean, you notice it didn't have any red highlights for the eyes, or I'm thinking about maybe this kind? It still has like the large pupils and such. I can try this. So, and you can even set like two colors here. I could always switch to this layout briefly so you can see like the colors down there and such. Bottom left, I can have a look-see. Is that what high NTI eyes look like? Is that what that's based on? Do you think? Huh. Well, I'll do this for now. Never mind, okay. Okie doke then. So my actual eyes are hazel, which is green and brown. So like, I forget if it's an outer ring of green and an inner ring of brown, or if it's the other way around. I straight up don't remember. It's one or the other. From a distance, my eyes just look brown, but we can go with like green there, and then color 2. Have like brown on the inside like that? Maybe? So yeah, I do like how this game has, with its customization, with things like the hair and the eyes, you can choose like 2 different colors that it, you know, fades into and such. Yeah, so maybe I'll just go with the brown. What if I, switcheroo it? Like brown on the outside and green on the inside. What would that look like? I guess that looks closest to my actual eyes, I think. I think that it might just be like inner ring of green. But I do kind of like the look of green anyway. That's also the thing. And then like inner ring of brown. Yeah, something like that's pretty cool. Probably one you're on now. Just guess as you couldn't see the bottom left behind your face cam earlier. Oh, gotcha. Oh, yeah, sorry, my face cam was blocking that. Yeah, whoopsie doopsie. It's because this is where the mini-map is gonna be, so I figured like this would be the layout to use for the thingamabob. Eyeshadow. I don't think I need freaking eyeshadow. I don't think I need that. You can do freaking yeah, the character creator in this game is interesting to say the least. Yeah, let's pass on that front. You have a whole bunch of freaking I'll switch to this layout briefly. Of weird freaking additional detail thingamabob here options is what you've got. I can freaking have a heart if I want. Or a butterfly. Could literally have a butterfly on. The green looks kind of cool. I probably won't use any of these. I think it'd be like too distracting, but I mean, but some of them are interesting. I don't want to say what that looks like, but that's not the kind of thing that I'd want on my face. Love this kind of customization. It's very interesting, to say the least. I wonder if any future Xenoblade games are ever going to have like custom character creation. Because this game is custom character creation though, it means that your character has like very little to do in the actual plot. It seems like your character has voice acting for battles and whatnot, so that you can still like call out and say stuff, but your character literally never speaks in cutscenes. Your character just kind of like rides along for the story. So I mean, there's that. Oh my goodness gracious. You could be a sad panda if you want. Imagine going through a playthrough of Xenoblade Chronicles X looking like this. Hey, X marks the spot. Yeah, some of these are, well, there's certainly something like Thunderbolt, Zeke! No, some are, quite interesting. It's kind of weird that you have games like Fire Emblem Fates where the avatar is the main character that lets a little character development. Yeah, I feel like, I mean, if Fates had a good story, then it'd be a freaking masterpiece of a game, because its gameplay is great, its music is great, its art style is great, all those other things are great. It's just a story that freaking sucks in Fates. So if only Fates had a good story, then Fates would be a freaking masterpiece. Too bad it's not. It looks so silly. You're gonna have this. I don't think I'm gonna go with any of these, but like the panda there, Guzma. So, something interesting about this game is there's literally, maybe I'll turn off my camera so you can see it. There's literally 14 different voice actors for the hero in this game. 7 male ones and 7 female ones for you to choose your voice, which is really interesting. So that's probably why the main character is a silent protagonist within cutscenes and only speaks up during battle and such, is because the main character literally has 14 voice actors. So, you know, there's that. And yeah, I like how it says who the voice actor is as well. And speaking of, when it comes to, yeah, definitely not enough games doing that. But speaking of who voice actors are, the classic option, what classic means, is Xenoblade Chronicles 1.
They staggered me. Shall we? Huh?
Recognize the voice?
Cheers. Sorry, but it was.
Whoops.
But it was you or us.
Hello, Anima. How are you doing today?
Cheers. They staggered me. Huh?
So yeah, there's a classic voice for both the male and female characters. So the classic voice for the male character is the same voice actor as Shulk, and the classic voice for the female character is the same voice as Fiora, which is interesting. So scrap your current design and just build Shulk. I wonder what designs you can find online that people have done in this character creator that have been like the closest to Shulk. Yeah, that's Shulk. That is Shulk right there.
Huh? Sorry, but it was you or us. Right, let's do this.
There's a lot of arts that come back from Xenoblade Chronicles 1 as well, but you can like customize your classes and stuff as well. But you can go into the class that has backslash, so you can, if you really wanted to in Xenoblade Chronicles X, you could recreate Shulk, give him Shulk's voice, and literally be using Shulk's backslash in Xenoblade Chronicles X, technically.
They staggered me. Huh? Shall we? Right, let's do this.
I was surprised that one of the sample lines isn't, "I'm really feeling it." But yeah, nice. I hope you have fun with that, Anima. I'm doing pretty all right. Looking forward to playing this here. So let's listen to the different voices.
Hey there. All right, it's on. Huh? Hey there. They staggered me.
What's the voice option that I've used in the past? I don't remember.
Hey,
Not that one.
do what I can to help. Hey, come on.
Your voice sounds familiar. Your voice sounds familiar there. Backslash, air slash. I don't know if air slash is in this game. I know backslash for sure is, but
Yo.
yo.
Easy peasy. Easy peasy.
I don't know about Rebel.
Easy peasy.
Okay, that's what I thought it sounded like, but I didn't want to say for sure. But whoops, dang it. Because just in case I was wrong, I didn't remember what the voice actor's name was. So that's where I recognize that from, huh?
We've still got a ways to go.
Yeah, I wasn't... I didn't know what his name was, so I didn't want to say in case I was wrong. But yeah, that is where I recognize that from.
Hey,
I didn't know that he voiced Henry from Fire Emblem Awakening. That one I didn't know, but...
we've still got a ways to go. I'm off balance.
So yeah, he's definitely voiced in like a lot of anime and JRPG kind of games, huh?
Game and set. What?
Greetings. Ready?
Do I recognize your voice from somewhere?
Ready? Greetings. Ready?
Yeah, and 'tis from Bravely Default. That was the first time I was ever exposed to that voice.
Hey there. Yeah, I've been staggered. Yeah, let's do this thing.
Most of these voice actors are everywhere. That's probably why they list the names here, I guess. Most likely.
Here I come, such. I'm off balance. Hey.
Trying to Google these voice actors. I can turn off my camera again briefly if you want to see the bottom one.
Ready and willing.
I think this is what sounds most familiar to my ears from playing Xenoblade Chronicles X in the past. I think this is the voice that I've used for this game in the past. I think this is the one that I'm used to.
They staggered me. Huh? They staggered me.
Yeah, I think that's the one that I'm used to here.
There.
Yeah, so X submenu, save and load view character. Yeah, so I think we're gonna go with that in that case. Yeah, so that's the character creator in Xenoblade Chronicles X essentially. So I think we have our Mr. Dudo here. I think we has the guy. And I believe this is probably looking very similar to the Dudo that I created in the playthrough from 2018. I imagine, because when I did my first ever playthrough of Xenoblade Chronicles X, my Dudo looked something like this. Wait, which one is Spider-Man's voice actor from the PlayStation games? The Joker one or like that bottom one? Wait. So yeah, definitely not wrong there. And Damon voiced Hubert, you believe? Oh, interesting. Oh, so the one that I selected just now is the
Ready and willing. All right, it's on.
All right, now that you say it, sounds familiar. I don't have a PS4. I've never played those games myself, but I've seen like all the cutscenes of it and such.
All right, it's on. They staggered me. Victory is ours.
So,
All right, it's on.
okay, so I guess I'm Spider-Man now. Okay. I guess I'm Spider-Man. So there's that. Let's finalize it as our character. Also, another perk to playing on PC is we should get faster loading times. Look at that. Holy crap.
Attention, external access confirmed. Disengaging stasis in 10 seconds. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Releasing hatch. Please stand clear.
Hey there. Looks like you're all in one piece. Careful. Just take it nice and slow, okay? Your senses will need time to reactivate. Your pod is the only one around that landed intact. Good thing I found you. My name's Elma. You want to tell me yours? You don't even remember your own name? Must be the stasis hangover. That's not good. Just try and focus, all right?
All right, name entry. What? 0 on the numpad just so happens to be my button to unmute the microphone. So I'm just gonna go ahead and do that. Boopity bop. There we go. Harmonia. Yeah, that's it.
Good, there we go. What else you remember?
Mitochondria is the powerhouse of the cell.
Meantime, I'll get you up to speed here as best I can. How are your limbs? Can you move?
Body's working fine. Show that you're still disoriented. No, it's working fine.
We'll take it easy while you shake the stasis out of your system. One step at a time, all right? First things first, you'll be needing a weapon. There you go. All right, let's get going.
Alright, Prologue Awakening. What are we playing? Fire Emblem? Alright, follow the arrow. Take a moment to check the minimap if you're ever stumped. Following the yellow arrow should reveal the way forward. Though an occasional excursion off the beaten path never hurts. You know what they say about all work and no play after all. And this game is very much about exploration and such. And, you know, I've said it before, I'll say it again. This was a Wii U game that very much pushed the Wii U to its limits. Like, again, freaking props to Monolith Soft for getting this game working as well as they did on the Wii U. Also, you can jump really high in this game. This is a Xenoblade Chronicles 1 and 2 jumping is just, you know, a really tiny thing, like less than this. But in this game, you can freaking leap. It's crazy. So, yeah, Alma's basically the real main character, essentially. You're just kind of a rando.
Most of the White Whale's life pods didn't survive the crash, like this one. You're one of the lucky few. Right. You don't even remember the White Whale, do you? You know, the L002? The ship we escaped Earth on? You remember Earth, right? Planet Earth. Your homeworld. Or rather, it used to be anyway. Unfortunately, it was caught in a battle between two alien forces. And destroyed.
Just in case you forgot what happened before we start rambling a whole bunch and using the custom character creator.
Ring any bells? Don't feel bad. It's one memory I'd like to forget. I know. It's been following me for a while now. I didn't want to alarm you, but we're going to need to defend ourselves. You up to the task?
Alright, well, the first tutorial battle of the game. So the gameplay of this game is more similar to Xenoblade Chronicles 1 than it would be to 2. Like, it's very much based off of that and kind of expands off of Xenoblade Chronicles 1. Initiate combat by targeting an enemy, then drawing your weapon. Now, what do you say we give it a whirl, I'll be here to back you up, so feel free to experiment. Target R, target, and then A. Okay, well... But it has some very key things, Wait, so the character that I'm playing right now also voiced as Sly 4, apparently, but he was also one of the Corn voices? That's interesting. One of the most big differences, this battle's gonna end before I even have the chance to say it. You have melee and ranged weapons, and you can switch with the click of a button. I guess I can just say it quickly like that. That's one of the biggest differences between the gameplay of this and the gameplay of Xenoblade 1, is you can switch between melee and ranged weapons. And because they each have their own cooldown, you can switch back and forth between them to, like, shoot, and then melee weapon, and then shoot, then melee weapon, and so on and so forth, back and forth, if you want your maximum DPS.
You're not half bad. There's plenty of work back in the city for someone who knows how to handle a weapon, you know.
Sure, yeah.
Then you're interested. In that case, I might have just the job for you. But anyway, we can talk more details later. For now, let's keep moving.
Yeah, let's keep on schmoving. So this is the loot screen. I got an advanced storm assault rifle, whatever the hell that is. But yeah, so with the click of a button, with the click of the X button, you switch between melee and ranged weapons. And like in early trailers for this game, they said like, oh, you should be using either melee or ranged weapon depending on like how you're currently playing, essentially. Like, do you want to be from afar and just be using like, you know, debuffs and stuff and just be at, you know, a safe distance? Do you want to be up close and be using melee and be primarily a melee fighter? But the best way that you get like DPS is literally just by switching between the two, because even while you don't have one equipped, it still undergoes its cooldown, as you saw me doing like very briefly in the battle there. So if you just like alternate between melee and ranged weapon to do like their full damage and then switcheroo, then you'll be getting good damage there. Also, you have to mash A to freaking harvest things. It's weird. It's really, really weird. Wow, I got prototype body or whatever the heck that is. So yeah, jumping in this game is certainly something. Maybe I can more properly show off the switching. So yeah, I could just stay on one weapon like this, and then it's like reloading, and then shooting, and then reloading. Or, after I'm done shooting, I can switch to my melee weapon like that, do a stabby stab, and then I'm reloaded, and then freaking do that. And if I just do melee, then it's the same kind of deal where there's like a cooldown and I gotta wait anyway. So the best way to get damage per second in this is by switching back and forth between the two, essentially. Is the thing. So throughout this game, if you see me switching between melee and ranged weapons a whole lot, that's the reason why. That's the reason why I'll be doing that. I got level up and I got chrome armor and stuff. Arts also work a little bit differently. Like, you'll see there's a green bar that's going up as well, which if you wait for that cooldown to come all the way back, like, you can use it at this point, but if you wait for the green to go all the way around, it'll be like even better, it'll be even stronger and such. Sure, I'll give myself more defense, sure. So yeah, it's similar yet different. This game also has like appendages that you can target to destroy those and weaken an enemy. So, you know, it's very similar to Xenoblade 1, but also very different at the same time. So you know, even if this isn't connected to the overall Xenoblade story before, you know, before 3 comes out and whatnot, it'll still be like another interesting lens into like another style of gameplay for Xenoblade Chronicles here. Something that's similar yet different, you know? So, but yeah, love the voice options there, Mortis. Is that saying that you're, as you're looking into like more voice options, or like the switching between the 2 weapons and such? But yeah, go to stream on TV, won't be able to chat, but I'll keep an eye on chat too in case anything shows up. I may be watching the stream. With your fiance on TV, take care for now. Well, I hope you enjoy the stream on your TV. I'm so used to like streaming to streams being watched on like PC or phones and stuff like that. It's weird to imagine that I'm on a freaking TV somewhere, but that's the way it is. So you can see this little circle here that's an appendage, and if I move to a different place, then I'm not targeting the appendage. You need to be targeting it from a certain direction. So if I can get in front again, I can click in the right stick to lock onto that appendage and just be targeting it. So I can destroy it like that. Boopity bop. So yeah, it's the gameplay of this game has a lot of a learning curve. Like both Xenoblade 1 and Xenoblade Chronicles X, I feel like are games that took me like a really, really long time to learn properly. And even when I think that I had it learned properly, I still wouldn't, essentially. So, but yeah, just looking more into Yuri's role since he's the voice that we'll be hearing from my character. Yeah, just during battle, though. We'll only be hearing him during battle, like exploring around and such. Unfortunately, won't be hearing him during any cutscenes or anything like that. But yeah, so he was a Ricket as well, huh? Interesting. Boop. About to destroy that appendage, whatever it is. I don't even know what appendage that is. Can't even tell on the thingamabob. But yeah, so this does just feel like playing like a somewhat more complicated version of Xenoblade Chronicles 1, almost, is what it kind of is. It's interesting. Well, one way to put that. You know how I was mentioning earlier that, like, for the most part, playing this on the platform that I am resulted in, like, most of the graphics looking better? It does seem like there are some issues with the cutscenes, and I noticed some in, like, the cutscene coming up. Where, there would be, like, fog that's persistent for way longer than it's supposed to be, and sometimes, rarely, the screen would do crazy shaking. We'll see if it does this time. Hopefully not. I have had times where, like, both those problems were fine, but we'll see.
The rain's starting to let up, just in time for sunrise. Follow me. I promise you're gonna love this.
Yeah, the fog is supposed to clear up a little bit more than this. It's a bit foggier than you're supposed to be seeing, but ah well. You still mostly make it out. Don't know why that happens, but it does. Oh, now it's clearing up. Will the screen shake, though? It will not. Nice. In testing, it was these blue guys that would make the screen shake. I guess you don't get to see the crazy screen shakiness. Sorry about that. You get to see it more normally.
Pretty wild, huh?
It's pretty wild.
They're all indigenous, as far as we can tell. We need to learn to play nice with these guys if we're going to try and coexist together. We call this planet Mira. You won't won't find it on any star chart. But it's our new home.
Wow, just insta-load. Yeah, I'm kind of glad I'm not playing this like right on my Wii U.
That's where we're headed. Watch yourself. That first step's a doozy.
Some of the textures I see are being a little bit glitchy and weird, but for the most part it's fine.
You could handle the fall.
There's no fall damage in this game is what she's essentially telling you. Xenoblade 1 and 2 have fall damage. This game has no fall damage at all.
Given our options, the high road here would be the safer way to go, relatively speaking. That said, whichever way you want to go, I'll follow your lead. You decide.
So yeah, you can kind of handle exploring in this game however you like, and this is where the game introduces you to that idea. Like, freaking find your own way there, figure it out, essentially. If you want to reach the habitat before sundown, we'll need to pick up the pace and start sprinting. Sprinting's good for times when you need to get somewhere in a hurry, when you need a break out of an especially hairy situation. Yeah, I figure so. So we can take like the more dangerous low road or like the safer but longer high road kind of thing. Not like it exactly matters a whole lot. But yeah, looking at this freaking game here, this 2015 Wii U game puts freaking games like Pokemon Legends Arceus to shame. Yeah, this place came from the US of A, and the name of this place over there is New LA. It's based off of Los Angeles. Should I just show this game not having fall damage? Screw it, we're going down. So, as I was saying before, Xenoblade 1 and 2 have fall damage. This game does not. This game has 0 fall damage. ULA. Instead, what if the name of this place is NLA for New LA? What if instead of calling it New LA, we just call it ULA? Is a thing, because throughout this whole story, the characters keep on calling it New LA. We can just call it ULA instead. Is what we can call it, because it rolls off the tongue the same basically anyway. Shadow Beach. I got 4 battle points for that. Whoa, I like how it handles exploration like the original Xenoblade, where you get experience for it. Yes, just call it ULA. I probably don't have a good enough field skill to harvest this yet, do I? Oh my goodness, I do. I thought this would be like a higher level thingamabob, but apparently it's not. Not a city person. Well, we got a big, like, half-built city in there, essentially. The collectibles are handled kind of like Xenoblade Chronicles 1 rather than Xenoblade 2, where you just kind of run through and collect them. Live in a state famous for its cities, and not a city person. Yeah, I'm not super big on the city myself. Yeah, my family has a lake cabin by a lake, essentially. And it's just like a nice little cozy village where everybody knows each other and stuff, and it's pretty nice and quaint and, like, relaxing there. I kind of like environments like that. Sweet Nerine, whatever that is that I just collected. But yeah, so this is the world. Ooh, what's this? What's this? Something that I can harvest. Nice. Neat, neat. I also don't know why she said that, like, this was the more dangerous route. Like, there's higher level enemies here, but they just don't fight you unless you fight them. So, not like it matters much anyway. I'll go ahead and yoink that. Yoink. Keep on collecting more things, because just like Xenoblade 1, and I guess Xenoblade 2, just like all the freaky Xenoblade games, collecting things is important, so it's good to do it sooner rather than later, for sure. So up this away we go. But yeah, so this is the world of Xenoblade Chronicles X, or at least one small portion of it. Do I have the gamepad screen yet? Nope. Nope, I don't have the map on the gamepad screen yet. That's something that we'll get later, I guess. Probably after we go do, like, the main story stuff. So this game, similar to Pokemon Legends Arceus, has 5 main areas. This game has 5 main areas, but unlike games like Pokemon Legends Arceus, they are all interconnected. Like, it is just one large open world. You can literally, without any loading screens, run from one side of the world to the other side of the world. And it takes, like, freaking half an hour if you want to do that. Run from one corner of the world to the complete opposite corner. It's ridiculous. Where it's shaped in an interesting way. It's like, this is the main center area of Primordia. You have one area to the left of it, one area to the right of it, one area above it, and then another area to, like, the top of that. So, like, one of the longest routes that you can take is, like, all the way to the left of the left area to all the way to the right of the right area. Or all the way from, like, one of those corners to, like, all the way up north or something like that. Or some of the potential routes. But yeah, this is just one large open world, essentially, that you can just literally run across, and it takes a long time to do so. Look how cute they are. Look at them. But yeah, welcome to the world here. Should we take on the level 49 freaking Dudo there? Let's maybe not do that. Let's maybe not do that there. But yeah, there's a lot of areas that you straight up won't be able to get to, like up there, until you get skills and until you can fly with skills, which are like the mechs that are featured on the cover art and such. So, you know, it shows on the map there that I'm going the wrong way for the objective, but it's been a long time since I've gotten the chance to properly run around and explore the world of Xenoblade Chronicles X, and it's a real treat of a world to explore. Skyrim, eat your heart out. Yeah, I've only put 10 hours into Skyrim, but I can say that I've had a lot more fun exploring around this game than the smidge I have in Skyrim. But I also have like freaking hundreds of hours in this game in the past, so I mean, maybe it's not a super fair comparison. But yeah, this, I mentioned it before, I'll mention it again. While the story of this game isn't exactly my favorite, in terms of worlds, this is probably one of my favorite video game worlds ever made. Straight up. Like, it's crazy. I should not have got myself down here. Now I gotta find my way up that cliff. Gosh, diggity darn it. Exploring in this game is too much fun. I might be able to go up the side of the cliff because you can jump like crazy in this game. Whoa, come on. No! Oh, darn it. But yeah, like your pretty colors of stuff around here. Got a massive moon over there. Gosh darn it, should I not have gone this way? I'm just too in awe of like coming back to this world after so long. Oh! Oh! Come on. But yeah, that's probably indeed the case there, Enzo's. Probably the mods for... Yes! I freaking did it! Welcome to Exploration in Xenoblade Chronicles X, where the jumping in this game is actually really good, unlike Xenoblade 1 and 2. Yeah, the world building is freaking incredible. Maybe I should have fought some more enemies before this point because there's actually a minor boss battle here.
And this was just the habitat unit. The white whale was one hell of a ship. Until it all came crashing down, at least. That's the west gate. It's closed off now for security reasons. But we've repurposed a freight elevator that will get us inside. Grex's and riled. We can't leave them roaming here, not this close to the gate. We're gonna have to take them down. You ready?
Yeah, maybe I should have gotten one more level up before this because I think these guys are... Yeah, I'm level 3. You're level 4? Maybe it's fine? Maybe? I mean, boop. Okay. Let's lock onto that appendage there. I'll go ahead and do this. So there's a mechanic in this game called Soul Voice that I probably don't have... I don't have enough time to properly explain right now, but I will later. Yeah, we're fine for this. We're fine for this. There are some areas later on that get more interesting colors, I can say that for certain. Oh, my freaking level up got me another thing there. I probably should have waited until that got all the way to the green because it was getting really close to doing so. Yeah, we're fine. For whatever reason, I thought these guys were a little bit higher level than they are. For whatever reason. Stab a stab. Oh, that one's a little bit fast there. That was a smidge fast there. Boopity bop. Yes, I'll do that. Boopity bop, smackaroo. But yeah, so... very similar, yet different to Xenoblade Chronicles 1, for sure.
It's a shame we had to settle near so much wildlife. Luckily, some species aren't so hostile, but they aren't necessarily friendly either. I've come to learn that there's a fine line between self-defense and provoking a fight. We need to walk that line. All right, let's head in. Who knows, maybe seeing the inside will jog your memory.
Yeah, let's get on in there. When it comes to the colors, yeah, the colors like this look like something that could almost exist on Earth, apart from like, you know, some of the land masses and structures there and whatnot. But there are definitely some areas that do have more bright and vibrant colors. And I feel like the best example of that is definitely Noctilum at night. And like, I feel like there's anything that I can really compare Noctilum Night to, it's probably the freaking Avatar movie, most likely. That alien world at night is what Noctilum kind of reminds me of. Just think about like a freaking very glowy alien rainforest at night is what Noctilum essentially is. for like the most vibrant color-wise one. Sylvalumnite isn't half bad either. I can definitely say. All right, well, let's go take the lift. Hi, Mr. Dudo. Who needs stairs when I can jump? Stairs are for nerds. All right, up we go. But yeah, like that one forest area in Sword and Shield, Obala and Leia. Yeah, Noctilum kind of reminds me a little bit about that. Though my memory might be a little bit foggy because it's been a good while, but we'll see when we get there. Yeah, or the inside of Uraya. It's kind of similar to that in a way, if I remember correctly. Who needs stairs? Whoa! Stairs are silly. Why would you use stairs when you could just like jump everything, right?
Well, here we are. Not too shabby, huh? For a giant beached spaceship, anyway. But, like it or not, this place is our home now. We took the name from the city it was modeled after back on Earth. We call it New Los Angeles. Welcome to NLA.
And so it was that another survivor came to join our band of refugees. Together, we resolved to forge a new way of life here on Mira, come what may. New LA was our beautiful lie to ourselves. Truth is, we were adrift, heading into the unknown. Our native home was gone, swallowed in a shroud of light. And our future was uncertain. We had no idea what fate lay in store for us. Only that we had to keep living in order to see it.
Welcome to Xenoblade Chronicles X.